Yo, what is up, guys? Time for another YugiTuber Grand Championship 2019 match. In this match, we have Lithium2300, myself, going up against BladeYGO. Delicious. And with us for this electrifying commentary, we have House of Champs.
Now, it may not be the next Zodiac, but I thought of this as very potential amazing deck for round 2. So now, Dark Neostorm is legal, correct?
No, so we're still in round 1 here.
Okay.
So Dark Neostorm is not legal, but there's only a couple more matches, and then round 2 starts, and then Dark Neostorm is legal. So hopefully we don't see too much Mystic Mind moving forward. But I think a lot of people are actually doing some gentleman's agreements.
Set 1 pass is not what you want to see from an opening play for most decks.
Maybe Lithium's just baiting him, you know? Remember the good old days where you would just set 1 card, and then you can just completely wreck your opponent? What?! Are we gonna see?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my, what is this? We have Dragon Buster Destruction Sword using the effect of Sage on it to go ahead and grab a Blue Eyes from the deck. Do we have Blue Eyes Buster Blader?
I think Blade is going for a very specific fanfiction duel between Yugi and Kaiba here.
I mean, we don't know that, though, for sure.
Now, for those unfamiliar with BladeYGO, he actually very recently has a UDS top under his belt, so a credential that not many YugiTubers would have to say. I don't know that many, if any, have a UDS top besides him.
I don't think so either. Yeah, Blade, and he's only like 16 years old, so he has a lot of potential. There's the return of the Monarchs. This is going to be a good one. Oh, I had a feeling Lithium was going to play Monarch. If there's any deck he's known for, it's this one.
And there's Kuraz using Stormforth to be able to summon it.
Right, so now Lithium's going to use Kuraz's effect, Chainlink 1. He's going to chain block with Return of the Monarchs here, so that will be protected from potential effects, which is nice. Kuraz is going to be targeting both of Lithium's cards, so that will net him 2 draws in addition to the Search from Return.
Pantheism?
Ooh, but Widow Anchor? What deck is this?
That's so you're telling me Blade next level expected his monster to be leaving the field so that his Widow Anchor would be live. What a man's.
That was just, you know, I don't know if he outplayed him or I don't know who's outplaying who right now. The mind games are just completely unreal. You only see a match like this in the YugiTuber Grand Championship, ladies and gentlemen.
So he has Ether loaded to hand for Lithium, so he's going to be able to bring that out during the opponent's turn. One of the few interacting Monarch cards still left.
Correct. It is still at 1 copy, but there's a reason, because Aether is one of the most powerful Monarch cards ever printed. Kuraz is not able to attack, as Lithium pointed out. I was going to point that out if he did not, so he won't be able to get any damage in here. I still have no idea what Blade is playing. There's Destruction Sword Memories. Discard a Destruction Sword card, special summon a Buster Blader monster from your deck.
Lithium reading along with you there.
I was going to say, I think we're going to both have to be, or all 3 of us, rather, are going to have to be reading this, because this is... Oh my god. And you can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon 1 Buster Blader, the Dragon Destruction Swordsman, from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on this from your graveyard. So there's the OG Buster Blader right there. And there's 500, there's what, 2 dragons. So that Buster Blader is sitting on 3,600.
Jeez. And we
it's in the opponent's graveyard. I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've seen Buster Blader.
I don't think we'll see too many dragons from Lithium.
I don't think so either. So Buster Blader's only on 26, but he is going to go ahead and banish 4 Aether's effect here, tributing off Kuraz. And this is going to be before main phase 1 ends, because that's when Aether has to activate. He's going to use the effect of Aether's Chainlink 1, return Chainlink 2. He's going to go ahead and send Pantheism, as well as Prime, pretty standard play there for Monarchs, and grab out Erebus. So now, Buster Blader will not be able to attack over either one of these.
And he gets an extra Erebus to hand, just for good measure. It ain't looking too good for Blade, but he does have 2 cards left in hand here, and with many options that Lithium seems unfamiliar with, he might be able to pull off a giant attack monster for game or something along those lines.
Looks like Lithium wanting to grab Kuraz instead of Erebus there, and it looks like Blade's going to have some good sportsmanship and let him have that. So he's going to go ahead and target both of his sets again. So that is going to be return as well as the set face down. And Blade's going to let it go through, so Lithium's going to get to draw 2 cards. Another copy of Prime, which is really good, because now that he has 2 of those in rotation, he can banish 1 on Blade's turn and then 1 on his own, and have an instant rank 5 play set up.
So Kuraz's going to go down here, and then just a couple life points.
That's not really that big of a deal.
Actual back row from Blade if these are not bluffs.
So Prime Monarch coming out in the end phase, as I alluded to earlier.
And you did say Xyz. There's a good old double back row buster known as Wind Up Zenmayo.
Correct.
That can be coming out of the extra deck as well.
Yes, so... But, as Lithium was asking in the chat, Blade could potentially use the Destruction Sword trap card for the effect of Fusion Summon. Potentially. I don't know what other cards this deck actually has, but... So he's going to go ahead and use Pantheism to grab a copy of Tenacity, since he did reveal 3 copies. So he's going to use that, reveal his Erebus. That allows him to search any of his Monarch cards, and he's going to go ahead and grab Return. We know he has Erebus in his hand, so that can just immediately come down and trigger Return. He's going to get the second copy of Prime. And so this is where, if he's playing Zenmayo, it would be pretty strong.
Oh, Pallades instead, though.
I think Pleiades is, probably the next best thing. I mean, Pleiades is just the best generic 5 in general, let's be honest.
Because let's face it, once that Buster Blader goes to hand, it's either fusion fodder or something along the lines of discard fodder.
Ooh, and now we have 1-for-1 pitching Edia for its effect. And I actually believe Edia will get its trigger here. If it's sent to the graveyard, yes. So he gets a special summon in Edia, and then he can target one of his banished cards and add it back, in addition to triggering Edia on the field to special summon Eidos. So this is going to be a very big turn for Lithium here, if all this goes uninterrupted.
And gets a Storm, but he's playing Domain despite the extra deck as well, just to be able to do this.
Yes, absolutely. And plus, too, you do get the damage boost, which can actually be relevant. Buffing your Monarchs to 3,600 is nothing to scoff at.
So, Erebus, for those unfamiliar with the strategy, is now at level 6 thanks to Domain, and he only has to tribute 1 monster.
Correct. And now Erebus is going to trigger its effect, which will send 2 more Monarch Spell and Traps, and spin any card, either on the field or in the hand of BladeYGO, back into his deck. And I don't believe it targets either. No, it does not. So... He's going to grab Majesty's Fiend with Return, one of the ultimate rogue killers.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. There were so many times just back in the day, if your opponent just dropped a Majesty's Fiend on you, it was just game over. You literally could not play.
Yeah, having the quote-unquote Monarch stats to be searchable rather than Vanity's Fiend was just such a huge advantage for it.
So Erebus going to shuffle back the set, and Blade would have had to use it in response, and I was going to use Pleiades to bounce the other back row here, and this is going to be a lot of damage. I don't think it's going to be lethal damage, but it's going to be a substantial amount for sure. So Erebus going to hit over Buster Blader. It will get the 800 bonus from the Domain. And then Edia is going to hit for 28, and Pleiades for 25. And, it looks like... Does it get the 800? It gains 800 attack during damage calc. Yeah, so it should have. It was tribute summoned. So they might have just missed that damage there, unless Lithium's going to bring it up a little bit later here.
Now, Blade saying thinking and going to go ahead and activate his Trap Engrave.
Oh,
and
no.
It looks like a Fusion Summon's available, correct?
Yep, so the Fusion Summon is going to go ahead and use the Buster Blader and the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and there is the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman Buster Blader, the card you did not want to get out of Breakers of Shadow.
Oh, yeah, price-wise. But it looks like it's going to serve Blade pretty well right here for a minute.
Yes, it's going to go ahead and block the attack of the Aether here. Or actually, no. Yeah, he didn't get the attack through, because otherwise... interesting, though, because... Unless there's a reason he wouldn't want to attack it. That was an attack for each Dragon-type monster your opponent controls. No, I don't think any reason, because, again, it should get the 800 boost from Domain.
Perhaps Lithium's just, it's been a while.
It has been a while, yeah. But this is his favorite deck, so I don't know. There could be something we're overlooking as well. But in any case, Blade is still in this. I mean, oh, never mind. Game 2. It's fun to see Blade playing this, though. I don't know where this is gonna go, but I want to see like some huge combos now that he's getting to go first.
Well, even knowing what his opponent is playing, knowing he's not locked out of his extra deck, he is choosing to go first here and sets 2 passes.
Yeah, so much for the big combo potential. Opening the Pantheism,
and the Prime.
Oh man, that is like the dream. But he does have Ash. Okay. Now the thing is, that's like okay because Pantheism can replace itself. So,
yeah, you actually still you get the 1-for-1 interaction, quote unquote, but of course Prime also good in the graveyard.
Correct. Yeah. So I mean, it's like that doesn't feel too bad just because it replaces itself, and he does get Prime in the grave. So Tenacity now revealing Majesty's Fiend. That's gonna not be good for Blade. Although Buster Blader can be special summoned from that trap, it can actually just attack over it. So
yeah.
That's actually one way that Blade could potentially out it here, if that does become a problem later.
And we really haven't seen what else we've seen a somewhat substantial Blue Eyes build, not just the Buster Blader stuff from him as well.
Correct. So we do see Prime coming out here by banishing that Tenacity. Autonomous action unit!
What?
He's going to pay $1,500 and resurrect the Ash Blossom in Blade's graveyard.
That's a level 3 tuner.
Oh my god.
If it's not tribute fodder.
I was going to say, it's probably tribute fodder, but if there was a level 8 Synchro coming out, I would have probably just lost it.
Viewing extra deck! Viewing extra
He
deck!
has Omega! Oh my
and he can
god.
actually cycle Pantheism with that, can't he?
That's broken! Oh my god. Again, only in the YugiTuber Grand Championship, ladies and gentlemen. Even Blade had a comment on how sick that is, because we are astonished. I think he's astonished.
Oh my goodness. Lithium, the next level.
And he has the Edia for the normal summon, too. Oh my god.
That makes me wonder if Lithium is abusing Megazaborg in this build somewhere.
Maybe. It's possible. Because, yeah, Omega is not something you see often. So we're going to go to battle phase here. Blade accidentally taking way too much damage there. He's going to take 3,600 in total. But apparently, he doesn't really have much of a follow-up here. He could go for... I mean, he has the Majesty's Fiend, but I don't think you want to use it because you have Omega up.
Interesting to have the back row as well.
Right. So in this standby phase, Omega's going to return Pantheism to Lithium's graveyard, creating a pseudo-engine, which is just... Oh my god, that is so amazing. Hornet Drones. We already knew he played Sky Striker cards in this deck, so I'm curious to see where this goes. It's going to go ahead and bring out Kagari. Kagari is at 1. We are under the April 2019 Forbidden and Limited list, so that is something to mention for anyone watching. So Drones adds back to hand. Brings out another token. Where do you think he's going with this, John?
Probably a Nightmare in the extra deck.
Unfortunately, Cerberus... Oh, he's going for B-Cop. Okay.
So getting himself generic downward arrows.
Oh my god, what is this? Prologue of the Destruction Swordsman. Send 1 Destruction Sword card and 1 Buster Blader monster from your deck to the graveyard, except the card. Special summon 1 Buster Blader from your extra... Or Buster Dragon, excuse me, from your extra deck or graveyard, but destroy it during the end phase of the next turn. Okay. So Buster Dragon, I believe, is the Synchro.
So to note, this is also sending the card that allows him to fuse later, as well as fusion material fodder.
It also has a graveyard effect that says you can banish it from the graveyard, and this turn Destruction Sword cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So that is something that Lithium will have to keep in mind. Buster Dragon hitting the field. Now, it wasn't special summoned through pure Synchro mechanics, so we won't be able to special summon that later on.
All of his opponent's monsters are now Dragon type.
Interesting. So that's how we can get some huge damage in here. So Buster Dragon is targeting Buster Blader. I believe it can special summon it, so that's a pretty cool interaction there. Lithium's going to use Omega in response to possibly protect it, but Blade might have a response in after the Omega's using its effect here.
Yeah, that trap could activate from graveyard.
No, he's going to use Destruction Swordsman Fusion. So this is the quick play fusion spell. So he's going to just immediately go into it. And he can use the Omega as material for it.
Wow.
Oh my god. Because I believe, yeah, because it says either side of the field. So it's almost like a super poly. And because the Buster Blade or Dragon Destroyer Swordsman requires a dragon, and because Buster Dragon's making all dragons on the opponent's field, he gets to get rid of the... Oh, what is going on?
And Idea's still in attack mode right here.
Oh no, that's pretty bad.
Oh, wait. Why'd it go to defense?
I was gonna say, was that a misclick? Lithium even saying they have a super poly. Did something get switched to defense by accident, or is something supposed to go to defense? I'm not too sure.
I'm sure it's an effect we're missing.
It might be an effect we're missing, but I know that this Dragon Destroyer Swordsman Buster Blader here has piercing, so it's going to pierce for 4,800 damage.
Jeez.
And Blade commenting that if Buster Dragon were in attack mode, he would have won the game.
Oh, does he get to take cards? Okay, equips.
That's interesting. Okay, so now we have a Destruction Swordsman coming in. Yes, once per turn you can send one monster card you control. Oh, no. It's target one of those destroyed monsters, equip it to this card. Okay. So that is on there. So Destruction Swordsman using its effect. Once per turn you can send one monster card you control that is equipped to this card to the graveyard. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls with the same type. Oh, wow. Okay. And so I think Blade's just having to clarify here to Lithium that's what's happening. So essentially he gets to just nuke the entire field. Eddie is going to go ahead and trigger on Destruction, add Tenacity back to the hand. And now he gets to equip the Edia to it as well.
That's actually huge, kind of stopping the graveyard effect
it
there
is,
for
yes,
later.
because Edia would be able to banish itself and just summon... or no, Eidos, excuse me, would be the one to banish itself. But yes, it would... Just having that graveyard fodder is important. So he's going to use the effect of the Fusion, which I believe you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard and add this card to your hand.
And it's a quick play.
It is. Wow. I mean, what a showcase from BladeYGO here. Lithium just wanting to take a quick read on what the card does.
And wasn't there end phase destruction, or is it the next end phase?
It's the next end phase that Buster Dragon will be destroyed. Yes. So, and yes, Lithium also clarifying that as well. So, I mean, Blade has a board here, and it's not like Monarchs couldn't deal with this, but this is impressive. The thing is that Quick Play Super Poly is imposing because at any point, Blade can just Super Poly away Lithium's field and summon another fusion monster.
Yeah, it's very interesting because, like, we already know the Synchro's turning everything to dragons. Pretty much anything's accessible. And it looks like he's going to go for a Stormforth because of this.
And Blade's going to allow him to have the Stormforth. Interesting. So Tenacity's going to go ahead and grab probably the Domain. So basically, Lithium had whatever card that he didn't get in that instance. That's why this deck is so good. Like, the amount of, like, if you just get the right consistency cards, like, this deck can allow you to do anything. So Stormforth coming down.
Return,
tributing directly for Majesty's Fiend. Okay. So he's tributing off Buster Dragon. This is important because now all of Lithium's monsters aren't dragons, so he can't use the Quick Play Fusion spell. So the Fusion is 2,800, I believe. Yes, that's what they're clarifying in the chat. And on the summon of Majesty's Fiend, he's going to go ahead and add Aether with Return. So now I believe Lithium can activate Domain, and he can punch over any of these fusions with Domain.
And it seems that he's remembering it for this game.
Yes. So now he's going to punch over, so now Majesty's Fiend goes up to 3,200, dealing 400 damage to Blade. And, I mean, the thing is that Buster Blader can just take out that Majesty's Fiend on the following turn, because Domain only activates when the monster is attacking.
And of course, Majesty's Fiend turning off effects for both players, so Aether can't do anything.
Right. So now we're just going to have to see where this goes. Again, both players just clarifying here. I think just because Blade's playing with a lot of cards that are unfamiliar, not only to Lithium, but to a lot of us. So.
All right, so Lithium is reinforcing his defenses here and setting a card on top of it.
Considering he's on 1,700 life points, I feel that's very important for him to do. So Lithium's not out of this yet, but he does have to be careful because of the fact that his life points are so low. So he's going to go ahead and use the effect of the fusion, banish the Buster Blader and the Buster Dragon. He's going to bring out another copy of the Dragon Destruction Swordsman. Summon out an Ash Blossom. Are we going to see a Boral Sword? There's Boral Sword. I think that can actually do it.
Yeah, he's going to be able to... No, he won't be able to gain the attack. Because he can't activate, right?
It doesn't matter, though, because Buster Blader can... Oh, no, he can resurrect Prime. Never mind.
Yes.
So, yeah, so he's actually okay here. Yeah, so because Buster Blader can take out the Prime, and then when Boral Sword goes to use its effect to switch Buster Blader to defense, he can protect himself with Prime.
Yeah, the other Prime's going to come out, so Lithium living by a thread here this turn because of his well-timed Prime on the last turn and keeping up with his resources.
Well, that was one of the things with this deck back in the day. Prime Monarch was such a hard card to, like, deal with. Like, you could never kill off your opponent because Prime could just keep resurrecting itself. It's only a once-per-turn effect, but, like, that was always a 2,400 defense wall that you had to worry about playing against this deck.
Yeah, no matter where you are in Yu-Gi-Oh!, that's no joke.
Right. So now Blade just has a Boral Sword on his field, and Lithium could potentially... I think Lithium, if he has the potential to turn this around, this is going to be the point where it happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have to see, though. He has Domain that's able to lower any of his Monarchs by 2 levels, so they could become a level 6.
We know he has Aether.
He has Prime Engrave. So he has a Tribute Fodder as well.
He needs to get the spells there, though.
And he had Storm Forth
is.
set. Oh my god, this is going to be huge. So he's going to go ahead and Storm Forth away the Buster Blader. And now
And he gets the Idea and Eidos back.
Correct. So this is going to be a really big swing here. And I think this might be what closes it out. So he's going to go ahead, grab another copy of Storm Forth. And he's going to go ahead and get Erebus here.
Yeah,
Special out Erebus as well. Now, the thing is, he does still have to... oh, yes, he has to dump for Aether's effect, so he's going to dump Prime as well as another copy of Return.
Eidos going to be able to banish.
Summons Edia, which Edia can then get another copy of Eidos. That will give him another tribute summon for the turn, and this is where he can just summon Erebus, spin away the Boral Sword Dragon, and that's going to be game, I think.
Yes, I believe so as well.
Unless there's something I'm missing here, I think that's going to do it. Erebus having to send the 2 Monarch spells and traps to the grave for its effect, and yeah, that's going to be it. So, Lithium moving on to round 2, but Blade going out in true fashion with the Buster Blader. I don't think it gets any better than that, John.
In style. Buster Blader Blue Eyes.
Guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next match.